What up, everybody? And actually, we'll leave the lights off. I came across some interesting stuff last night. I went to sleep. I woke up this morning, started diving into it some more, and I can't believe what I found. And I apologize. I may be coughing during this. I'm getting better. I'm mostly okay at this point. But I still end up having some coughing fits every once in a while. So I got cough drops, got some body armor. We'll get through this, but I had to go over this with you guys. I have a million and one questions around this email. I didn't like the email that was sent out by the Cybertruck bomber. I when it first came out, there's a lot of weird things about that email that makes zero sense to me. They don't. It was weird. I dove into it a little bit last night. What up, everybody? I see you guys coming in here now. Everybody, throw in some comments. Let's break that algorithm. Let's get people watching this and join in on the conversation, because I also want you guys to poke holes in it. I want you guys to tell me in the comments if there's something I'm seeing that's wrong, that I'm saying is wrong, or you guys see differently, because that's the only way we can get to the truth, is everybody work together on these topics and these things, and not say Sean Ryan exposed everything and he knows it all. We all need to come together and actually look at these things. And this Cybertruck bomber story is weird, very weird. We're going to touch on that. Hey, what up, guys? There we go. More comments are coming in. Good to see you guys. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and pull up this email. So let me switch over and pull up Sean Ryan's post so I could show you guys on the post. But we're gonna go. I downloaded the image so I could load the image in a different way, so I could zoom in and show you guys. Because right here, X regulates the image. So I could zoom in and out, but the image tries to stay the same size in the browser, and I can't really show you guys what I'm talking about. What up, dude? Glad you're here. I'm sure you probably already know a little bit about this, but I would like your insight on it. And we could talk more after, but this is interesting. So this email was, to give a backstory, Sean Ryan. I didn't even really know who Sean Ryan was until the Sarah Adams podcast came out. And so now that I'm looking into this more, Sean Ryan has been around for a while, done some interesting podcasts. This one, I question the validity of. This email, I question the validity of. And it's just like the email that the .net YouTuber guy that was exposing. I can't remember what he was claiming to expose. But he practically deleted his whole account because he got exposed for trying to expose a lie. Oh yeah, it was about the Tim Walz story where Tim Walz was meeting up with a kid and all of these things from school. .net YouTuber tried to expose all of that. Little did he know, and he made the same mistakes. The exact same mistakes are in these emails, in this email. The same ones. The formatting mistakes that I talked about before with .net YouTube exist in this email right here, and we're going to go over it. And first of all, to shout out, where I started to piece a lot of this information together with is a couple guys on X that just are spewing all kinds of information out, which is awesome. One of them, his name is Bone GPT, and the other one is Green Beret Naptime. And piecing all of this together, and that's what was so cool in all of these threads that are going on. You could actually piece this data together and form this, and that's why I wanted to go live and show you guys all of the details, so you don't have to go through and dig through each thread. And I want your guys' thoughts on this. All right, so this email, so you can see, I can't really show too much from this because I can't zoom in, but you can see the red line under the gravetic. Red line means what? That's usually a spelling correction notice. So someone will go back and fix the spelling or click on it and correct the spelling. When you have a sent email, spelling corrections, do the whatever you use for that to correct your spelling does not go back through prior emails that were sent to you. Um, awesome, Lenny. I see that. Cool. Um, they don't go back through the sent emails. So it's weird that the spelling correction is popping up in here. The other thing that stood out odd to me, um, right when this came out and the podcast was read, they read this email. They talked about redacting a couple names, well, 4 names, and then they only redacted 2 names, which I thought was weird, and no one ever addressed why that changed. But they only redacted 2 instead of the 4. As you could see here, you got 2 black boxes. Now, along with this spelling error stuff, like you can see right here, red line underneath Livelsberger, which is always going to happen because it's a name. The other thing is this cursor right here. You wouldn't have a cursor in an email like this. Why is the cursor right here? This tells me this whole thing was formatted and put into like a Word document or some type of text editor. It has to be probably more like a Word or a real Word processing application, not just a flat text editor like Sublime or Notepad++. I think I would expect this to be more of Word. But the other thing to also catch in this email that we need to talk about, 2006 black Ford Mustang V6. It's interesting that this is in this email. I called it out to my wife and I was like, that's kind of smart. You put something that we could go back in your history and look up and we can identify that, yeah, you owned a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6. It's a smart thing to include in your email. It's a smart thing to include in your email if it's true. We're going to touch on that in a minute, but I wanted to highlight that Ford Mustang thing. Clued me in on, hey, that's a good idea to be including in on emails if you're being a whistleblower or anything and trying to do identification. Cool. Maybe we need to look into that, and we're going to get into the vehicles and the registered vehicles to him, the Cybertruck bomber, Matt Livelsberger. And then we're also going to go over the vehicles that are registered to his parents and see if we find a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6. The other thing that is very obvious in this email at the very bottom, and this is where I talked at the very beginning of this podcast, is the very bottom down here. You have a space between this. What is that? A greater than or a less than sign? I get them freaking mixed up all the time. Hang on. That is a less than sign. Less than sign, space, email. That is never formatted like that. That is never done. That is systematic. Every email is formatted when it comes to the to and the from and the headers and all of that information that is up there. It's a whole bunch of stuff on how email transactions work and they get transferred. The formatting of this down here and the formatting of up here never changes. It will always be the same. There will never be extra spaces unless it's in the email, which wouldn't have extra spaces. But you wouldn't have these type of errors in producing. So clearly, this is copied out of an email or typed up. This is what we need answers on, Sean Ryan and Sam Sauer, or Sam, what is his real name? Hang on. Let me pull up my notes again. Bear with me a second. Sam, what is his freaking last name? Shoemate? Sam Shoemate? How did I lose? Yeah, Sam Shoemate. You wouldn't actually have this problem. This is a glaring thing showing that this was typed up, or they copied an email out of their email and then edited all of this information in here and put it all in here to make it look like an email from this individual. What up, troll? We see you here. Thanks for being here, man. Um, so after looking at this, I started going down these rabbit holes. I already started going down the rabbit holes of who Matt is and some of his ties. Kind of ran into some dead ends, but the other thing that I found very freaking odd, everything that we found on the internet tied to this individual, we know of a couple emails. And this is huge shout out to Bone GPT, because that's where I saw this early on, um, the day of the attack. And I'm still going to call it an attack for right now. Let me show you. This is Bone GPT exposed in here. They found a couple email addresses. His real name at gmail.com and then GODE11_20 at Yahoo. See, here's another one. This one is where he put his email on a forum, open forum, for saying someone to email him. If you go and search the email that is in Sean Ryan's I don't know, whatever. The email that they got from DA Berg MLB at protonmail.com. You take this email and you search the internet to try to find any forums, any type of stuff that is set up with that email, any user accounts, any place that email has been spread on the internet. It doesn't exist. There is no activity under this email that's spread around the internet. That is very odd. Very odd. If it is somebody that has had an email and they have set up an account to be able to go onto forums, which, by the way, we'll go over in just a minute. There is stuff from that GODE1120 Yahoo mail, that Yahoo email address. We could search that in Google and we can go and find to where he had conversations about his BMW. He had conversations about all kinds of things in these forums, and we found registered accounts. And he's talked about his military background, and it all matches and aligns for what we understand of him. But you can't find anything on the internet with this DA Berg MLB at protonmail.com. Nothing. Go and search it. Anybody want to check me, fact check me, go and do it, because I already did it. And that is where a lot of this starts to not make any sense. Someone is lying. The only people I could think that would be lying about this story would be the people that would benefit from lying about this story. And that could be Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate. Now, Sean Ryan, I apologize, guys. I'm getting notice that my internet is slow. Why? That's weird. Hopefully it gets better here in a second. Sam Shoemate has a history of lying under his account of tactical TWL, I think is what it was called. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, I think it's tactical TWO. Trying to find it here. Bear with me 2 seconds, guys. I didn't take note of that account. Where did that go? Anyways, we'll get to that in a minute. You know why, big brother? Oh, of course, Sarah. Always. I don't use my Proton for forums and such. If you search my Proton, you get nothing. Valid point. So, you would tell me you have a Proton mail. You don't use it for forums and such. Great. I get it. I have a lot of different emails I use for different things, and they're segmented. I understand that. But there is still going to be some sort of track record of your email that will be out there. And there's nothing. If you search just that email address on Google, you only pull up this podcast. That's where we should be questioning it. Now, Ed, I still get what you're saying. It's not full proof of that. But you take this one bit of that email not showing up anywhere on the internet, mixed with all of the issues we have with this email and the screenshot that's released, and then going into the history of Sam Shoemate and some of the stuff that he has done, leads a lot of concern. The other thing that needs to come up, everybody keeps talking about the Signal account. With the Signal account, the part that we don't understand with the Signal account is they're saying this guy shot himself and then the Cybertruck was detonated. We don't know that. There's not enough detail for us to be able to confidently say that. They say the Cybertruck pulled up and it was in front of the Trump Tower for 17 seconds. 17 seconds. Wait a minute. Let's get to these comments real quick. Ed's bringing up something. The whole story doesn't add up. No, it doesn't, man. The military time to a -2, the 24 o'clock to a 12 o'clock, and the email is sus. Oh, snap. No. That's afternoon and morning. That's normal. So if it was AM, it would look like that. It would say 10:42 AM. But when you get into PM, this would be PM, the prior day. That I would expect to see that. Because it does do 24 hours. When you're in AM, it just looks no different than a 12-hour clock, right? Yeah, it says 1400. You're referring to the bottom one? The bottom one says 1422. Bottom goes to 1231 or something. I don't see a 1231. Huh. Not sure what you mean by that. So, because yeah, at 10:42 a.m., it will always look at 10:42 a.m. on a 24-hour clock or a 12-hour clock. The only time it changes is anything after 12 p.m. And then after that, 12 p.m. will all look normal, but from 1 p.m. on, it'd be 1300, 1400, etc. And so I would expect that to be the way it's looking here. All right, where was I at? The Signal stuff. Everybody is pointing out how the Signal number changed. The safety number changed on Sunday, December 29th, and the Matt Berg changed their profile name to Matt, and then changed the safety number again today in the screenshot. Let's pull this up and show you. I have not shared this before. Excuse me, guys. I have not shared this before because I didn't believe this Signal one from the very beginning. I have all military times. All times show without the AM PM. Oh, I get what you're saying now. Because yeah, 1400. Yeah, it's the AM that you're calling out is wrong. That's a good call out. Sorry guys, I'm thinking through the process here, the technical stuff. That is odd. I can't think of anything to shut that idea down right now. So it seems likely that we need to dive into that more, but it wouldn't say AM, and you are 100% correct. It would not say AM up here if it was a 24-hour clock. Because as I explained earlier, 10:42 is always AM. 11:42 always AM. If it was PM, it would be 2200, 2300. Good catch. That is an interesting catch. I did not even recognize that. That is another format issue. It's always possible the email has been digitally tampered with. What do you mean by digitally tampered with, are you saying intentional or unintentional? Curious what you think there. You saying unintentional or intentional tampering? Let's touch back on the Signal stuff real quick. I didn't jump on the Signal story. A couple of you people reached out. You guys reached out and let me know. I said I'm not getting into it because this screenshot tells me nothing. It says someone named Matt changed his safety number on December 29th. And then today, Matt Berg changed their profile name to Matt. Okay. And then your safety number with Matt has changed. That's all we got. That's all we got on this. Like, there's nothing here. Like, there's nothing to really say give this any validity. That's why I didn't grab this. That's why I didn't repost it, share anything. None of this makes any sense to me because there is not enough information to form any opinion on this. I can't believe how many people ran with this and thought it was valid. The other thing that I have problems with, this guy, Matt Livelsberger. Gosh, I don't know why that name is so difficult to pronounce correctly. Matt Livelsberger. He used an iPhone per Vegas PD. They recovered an iPhone. iPhones don't have an app for Proton Mail, so you'll have to use it through the browser, which can be done. Very inconvenient to do. Don't know why someone would do that. I say it Berg too, and maybe because some of his usernames were Berg, like Sergeant Berg, and stuff like that. You have an app on an iPhone? I thought Proton did not have an app anymore. iPhone app. It's been a while. I don't even like Pro. Yeah, it is in the App Store. Never mind. It is existing. Thank you for correcting me on that. That helps because Proton Mail. If you don't have an app, a lot of people won't inconvenience their life and use a browser on their phone because it's so clunky and it's not convenient to use. You're going to want an app on a phone. If it's a browser on a computer, it's all the same feel. So I not a big deal there, but let's jump into this like a little bit more. So the Signal stuff, I'm not giving any validity to. I would say this is super sus on this that came out. That this maybe came from what's his face, Sam Shoemate, to try to make a point because anybody can set up an account on Signal, set any name up, go to their phone number. There's no information on here other than a text field that can be changed on no matter however you would like. And that is the name. You could put in any name you want. And so someone could have easily just put in this name and had this set up and then changed their own safety number and said, look at this. Now, the next thing I want to touch on are the vehicles. Fix the view here. The vehicles. Is there a time and day step? No, just day. That's what's odd. And it says December 29th. Let me pull it back up. It says December 29th, and that is our only point of reference for day. So December 29th, right here. And then today. For all we know, this could be December 30th. We don't know. We know it's after December 29th and not on December 29th. That is the only thing we know on this screenshot. We have no indication showing what day Matt Berg changed their profile name to Matt and changed the safety number. Everybody took this screenshot and ran with it and said that this was after it detonated. We don't know. There's not enough information on this screenshot to show that. And so that's where I don't understand how people ran with this story because it makes zero sense. There's not enough information in it. All right, let's get into the vehicle stuff real quick. Vehicle stuff. Let me find that link. Okay, vehicles. Actually, yeah, vehicles. And then we're gonna touch on something else here in just a second. So this is all in the thread. Oh no, hang on, guys. Camera went out. Hang on. Let's fix this. There we go. Present. Sorry, guys. Occasionally, my camera has been doing that lately. Not sure why, but it is. All right, vehicles. The part this is all within the thread of Bone GPT. He was exposing a lot of this stuff in here, but the vehicles that we were looking at, first pick is mom. So this is mom of Matt Livelsberger, and 3 vehicles. I don't see a Mustang listed in here, like what was stated in the email. Remember, it is a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6. Okay, let's go to second picture. This one's a video because it's scrolling through all of theirs. Let's look for Mustang. Do we see a black Ford Mustang V6 in here? 2006? I don't. Now that's his parents. Let's go ahead and pull up his vehicles. Let's go ahead and touch on his vehicles. And that is this one. This one, we know for sure with these vehicles, see Bone GPT up here on the right. We went going through and looking at this. If you looked up his email address, that geo, let me go and grab that real quick. That GEOD 1120 at Yahoo. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you a little bit of what when we were going through this. We're going to go through this live. How we talked about you could search an email, find it if it's registered on a forum and stuff like that. You can find things. That first email was that GEODE 11_20 at Yahoo. And I knew Beamer based upon the excuse me, the digging that was being done with the Bone GPT guy. They found all of these posts, and so I was like, oh well, let's go through and find this. So when you come in here, this is where you could find that email right here that I showed you the screenshot of earlier. Now the color's different because I have dark mode turned on, so it's going to be white normally. But this is the name the guy went by on his BMW forum. Now we do know for sure that this guy has registered a 2008 BMW 1 Series 135i is what he had registered. Let's go ahead and check that in comparison to what I was showing you. Oh, crap. I closed out of the tab. Hang on. Sorry, guys. On the forum. So here's the forum. That email again that I told you about. Over here drives a 2008 BMW i35 135i Montego Blue. Now the other one didn't mention the color, but now we have this email, this name associated with a BMW in Germany, where we knew he was at. We knew he was in Germany. What up, Lockjaw? Glad you're here, man. And hey, Lori. So now we know this guy, we have a connection to a BMW. We know for sure that a 2008 BMW was registered to him. This is the screenshot of all of his vehicles. Notice he had a 2018 Ford Mustang GT up here very recently, but no mention of a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6. Nothing. No one shows anything of this old Ford Mustang that was referenced in the original email that has formatting issues, that has a cursor in it, that they say is true. All of this story doesn't add up. Does this make any sense to you guys? Like, am I high as a kite? Because right now, that email is not real to me. That podcast that Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate did was for clout and fame and money at this point. I don't see anything in here that gives this a lot of validity other than they're ruining the trust within Americans and how we can actually do research. These people are ruining the internet by spreading these lies. What do you guys think in the comments? What do you think? Because this does not make any sense to me that there would be this many holes in this story, and Sean Ryan is doubling down on this, saying backing Sam Shoemate up. Now, Sam Shoemate released screenshots today, a couple hours ago, but I can't trust these screenshots now because they're coming out after the fact. If this, like, here's Sam Shoemate on X posting screenshots of these supposed emails that he exchanged with Matt Livelsberger. These screenshots are irrelevant now. Irrelevant. Because he should have exposed these screenshots first. Why in the world did he expose the email first? Why is it that this email right here, and this is a local copy so I can zoom in for you guys. Why is it that we would release this email? Keep in mind, this is the email that came out, not the screenshots of the app and the email application. This is what was released. And Lori, what we're talking about is this email is from the Cybertruck bomber at the Trump Tower, kind of saying it's a manifesto that was exposed by Sean Ryan's podcast that had a guest on called Sam Shoemate. And they're saying that this is the manifesto, but there's issues with this email. And it makes no sense. None. The letter today was the clincher to me, for me. What letter today? Was there another letter released today that I'm missing? Or is it just what's coming out about this email? Yeah, I have been sick, Rose. So who knows? This right here is the leading indicator that this is fake. Right here. Oh yeah, the Las Vegas PD letter. I'll go get that in a second, Ed. This tells me everything. And then what Ed pointed out on the 24-hour clock, 14:22, no AM PM, obviously, because it's a 24-hour clock. But up here, doesn't make sense to me. Haven't seen that one either. Which one are you missing, Kilburn? Which one? The other question I have, and I'm going to pull this video up and we're going to watch it together as I pull up the Las Vegas letter today. Oh, by the way, I have to do this while I have you guys here. We got to go over this. A lot of you that know me, that have been following me for a while, know me that I have some issues with Laura Loomer. I struggle with her. I still follow her. I don't block her, but I do have some issues with some of her stuff. And now she claims I can confirm the Cybertruck bomber's claim in his manifesto about having a Ford Mustang, which he shipped from Germany last year. I have obtained a copy of the port shipment from a source. Okay, where in here does it say a 2006 black Ford Mustang? Keep in mind, this was posted yesterday afternoon. There's nothing in here showing a 2006 black Ford Mustang. Hey, what up, Waz? Whatever, lockjaw. It doesn't. This is coming back to the same issue we have with the signal screenshots. There is not enough information to say this is true. This could be the 2018 Mustang, or it could be his 2008 BMW 135, because he was on the forum talking about that Beamer on the forum, and his indicator of his avatar had a Germany logo on it. Now, that could be manually put there for some forums, or it goes based upon your location you're accessing from, your IP address, pretty much. And it would automatically update. So it could be that he was accessing the Beamer forum, talking about his Beamer from Germany. It could be either of those vehicles. Or, God, it could have been an e-bike. Who knows? Like, there's nothing in here showing what it was that was shipped, how much it weighed, what color was it, anything. There's nothing in here. Like, this is not exposing anything, Laura. This is useless. There's nothing here other than confirmed we shipped something from Germany to the United States. That's all we know. This does not guarantee that it's his Ford Mustang or anything tied to the manifesto. Nothing. This is where we have to do better. If we're going to be here on the internet trying to expose the truth and all of that stuff. Exactly, Ed. If anybody has shipped something with somebody, used a moving company, anything like that, God, go to UPS, try to ship a box already sealed. They ask you what's in it, and then they put what's in it on your receipt, what you told them is in there. Where is that detail for this shipment? If you can correlate it exactly with the Mustang. Yeah, where's the bill of loading? That's it, man. Like, all of this stuff. Correct. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm not saying you can't ship it. We are saying in this screenshot that Laura Loomer is dropping, there is nothing showing Colorado Springs, total seas over shipment, time, shipments, what date it was. There's nothing showing what was sent. Is it a Mustang? Is it an e-bike? Is it just a duffel bag? I don't know. There has to be something that we can actually say, hey, this shipment from Germany to Texas has this stuff in it. It happens to have a 2008 black Ford Mustang. That would be fine. But no, it doesn't. And I said 2008. I think I should have said 2006, but doesn't matter. So this one bothers me. I had to touch on that. That's my last note in there before I forget about it, because I don't know how some of these people's accounts got so big when the information they're dropping is vague. Yes, Terry, exactly. That's exactly where I was going. Way too many assumptions and not enough actual fact. The signal screenshot, not enough information, but everybody was saying his password was changed, or the whatever security number was changed after the detonation. Nothing shows that. Nothing. That's why I never even jumped down it, is it didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense at all. Yeah. Same Terry. Follow his steps overseas, his profession and influence in UK. That's interesting. Do you have something you want to send me, Scar? Because that is interesting. Because yeah, I'll go look into his history in the UK. I've been just more trying to get the validity of this email because it just doesn't make any sense. Let's pull up Las Vegas PD real quick. Las Vegas PD not this morning. This was 2 days ago when I started to I was originally going to be giving Las Vegas PD an applause for how this was done, and applause to Elon and Tesla for just handing things over and making this go super fast, not really requiring a long-term investigation or a committee or anything like that. They just knock it out within a couple weeks. But now I'm starting to wonder because the FBI came out yesterday and said they believe that email is true. There's one thing that all of you know that followed me long enough. As soon as the government says it's true, I will never I will never trust it. I will be like, okay, it's fake then. Because it's the FBI and the government. They don't tell us the truth. The drones. I didn't give the drones any attention at the very beginning of all of it because I'm like, yeah, it's just people. It looks like aircrafts, whatever. It looks like commercial airlines. But as soon as the government said, we don't know what's in the sky, what is flying them, but there is no national security threat and there's no public safety threat, I immediately said, that is where I have to turn and pay attention now. Because the government's telling me no, there's no concern, but they have no idea what these flying objects are that are flying in the sky. But there's no security threat, no public threat. And now that the FBI said that email was true, they believe it is accurate yesterday. Now this rabbit hole started. And this is where things started getting weird with me with the Las Vegas PD. Let's give this a listen. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear it, because I always make that mistake.
Now, further complicating this identification of this individual, we also discovered through the coroner's office that the individual had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle.
He had a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle. How can you confirm that? How can you confirm he had a gunshot to the head prior to the vehicle being detonated? I don't know of a way that you can definitively say that in this situation. When I saw this yesterday, 2 days ago, when this came out, that's when I'm like, okay, well then full self-driving was used to drive that Cybertruck up to the front of the building. That's where immediately my mind went. You can go back and pull up my post. Here, actually, I'll show you guys. I'll pull up my post. My post immediately went to full self-driving. Now, Elon bear with me, guys. So many posts. Anyways, I won't pull it up right now. But Elon says full self-driving would detect whether there is a live person or someone paying attention while using full self-driving. I want to know how they tested that so I can poke some holes in how that works. Because if You had full self-driving on. Take someone's hands, an unalived body, and you have something tied to the steering wheel, like something light string, zip tie that would melt under fire really easily and go away. You wouldn't even know it's there. And you attach it to attach hands to the bottom of a steering wheel. So it looks like there's movement because that steering wheel will turn because it's full self-driving. And it will look like that body is moving as it's turning. Would that trick the full self-driving system to say that body is alive or not? I think so. This is a good point. That came out very early on. When self-driving came out on the highway and it was only used on the highway, it wasn't full self-driving, and you had people sleeping, you had people having sex in their vehicles as they were driving, all kinds of things. It's sensors. The inside camera, there's a camera inside the cabin on the around the rear view mirror that is looking inside the cabin that it uses to look at the driver. There's weight sensors in the seats. That's technology been around forever. We've had that in our cars to be able to dictate whether a passenger seat airbag goes off and stuff like that. So there's probably sensors in the seat too, but most of the AI detection for full self-driving is through the cabin camera. So when the car was driving around, was he popped and loaded in the back seat and hands in the wheel GPS programmed? I'm not quite convinced on that yet because the surveillance footage that was released of that Cybertruck, we don't know if that was really him in that passenger seat. Not passenger seat, driver seat. Could have been somebody else. And he was already taken care of and put in the back seat and then swapped out and put in full self-driving mode, headed up to Trump Tower. I don't know. There's a lot of holes in this that don't make any sense. My Suburban has that self-driving, has a camera that looks at your eye movement. Okay. That would be a good way of doing it. Yeah, I get it, Ed. I'm not saying you weren't saying that. That's kind of my thought process too. Is there's math is not mathing here. It's weird. All right, let's get into. Let me look at my notes here real quick. You are correct, Rose. You are correct. Signal screenshots, Las Vegas PD, Ryan's post, spelling corrections. Yeah, I don't have. Okay, we touched on most of the stuff. We're gonna get into the letter from Las Vegas PD in a minute. I read somewhere that the DNA did not match. Was late last night. I read that somewhere too, but I didn't find any proof of it. The part that I also struggle with, and we've already talked, like we didn't talk about this, but I posted about it, and everybody knows that because it's already being referenced, is how in the hell are U.S. military IDs and passports surviving plane crashes on 9/11 and this explosion that melted an entire the inside of a full vehicle, but those things survived. Now, some people justify if that ID was in his wallet, that he's sitting on it, the body's protecting it from the heat and the elements and all of the fires, especially if it's coming over the top and not from the floor. Then also, not to get too graphic, but fluids and stuff from the body go that direction with gravity could preserve it. But it's weird to me. I don't get it. I don't understand how those IDs always survive, but they always do. They always do. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that letter, Ed. The letter that they found in the car. I don't understand it. But can I just say that the US makes amazingly strong passports and IDs? Can we say that? Because we're now on to our second incident that they're surviving some pretty crazy things. Message, hang on. Yeah, this guy. This is it. Why did he? This is interesting. Let's go over this email. This that they released. Dude, with all the combustibles in that car. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Not to mention everything in that car is flammable. It's going to but I'm not going to die on this hill. Like, I don't know what you mean by this is the worst take ever, but feel free to elaborate because I'm confused. But why these things survive, how these things survive are just is amazing. Dude, it's just, in my opinion, common sense. Think about it. Like, how did that survive? The phone even got more damage than the ID did. Let's pull that up. Like, this is his phone. That's the phone. But who knows? Like, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna die on the hill of that ID surviving. But it's just weird. Just weird. Fellow service members. So this is the note found on his phone that I would really like to. I don't believe it's black and white. Like, what part? Where am I saying that this is black and white? The part that I am saying is black and white. Sam Shoemate and Sean Ryan are lying. That's what I'm saying is black and white. When it comes to everything else with this story, we don't know because everybody's trying to leak their information. And we don't trust the government. We don't trust the police departments. We don't trust FBI. We don't trust anybody that's going to be going in and trying to get the information and release it to the public so we have an understanding. We don't get any of that in a truthful manner that we can take seriously. So now we have all these conspiracy theories that come out and people that want clout to make money from monetization on social media platforms. And we have this situation that keeps brewing and getting worse every time we have something like this come up. So the main key of this is we're sick of the government lying to us. We can't trust the information that's coming out of them. And we hate all of these people that are ending up spewing lies to manipulate people. I don't disagree with you, but I do not trust. I'm not saying everybody in the police department, but I do not trust the leadership that runs these investigations. They are feeding their friends in the federal government the information, and that is how it's getting manipulated. Not that it's the guys on the ground, the front people. No, they're just delivering the data and dishing it out to the appropriate people in their precinct or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Because if you wanted to go down the route that everything is so bad, like, why in the world does my camera keep going out? That is so weird. Whatever. If we were going to go down the rabbit hole of saying everybody is corrupt and they're all on the same team, something would have came out by now. But no, this is just the management leadership that I don't trust at all. But back to this. All I have to say is, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with that statement. So we are the United States of America. So this is interesting. Like, how in the world is the email that they have, they as in Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate, how do they have a different email than what Las Vegas PD has? You would think the stories would match. They don't. We have experience and it's not been open and honest route. Yeah, I agree with you. So this here, this is a message found on Matthew's phone in the Cybertruck. I would like to know, actually, Ed, do you know if they released a press conference with this? I would really like to hear what they said about this instead of just reading this off. Do we have a press conference that I can play? Because I would really like to hear how they describe this. What's that? Let me go see what that is, and then we're gonna pull that up. Bear with me a second, guys. Let's get in here. I can't click on the link in StreamYard, so I have to go pull up the stream on another tab and grab the link. So what did you pull up? Grok conversation. How do passports survive fire events? Yeah, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole at the moment, but I want to read what Grok says. Okay, I'm going to go back to, just looking on X for their Las Vegas PD. Released by the PD. It's a letter, by the way. Here's a picture. Here, I'll show you guys. Copy image address. This is a picture of the ID that we were talking about that survived. I don't understand it. Oh, yeah, the video of him at the supercharging station. This is what I made a joke about. I thought it was funny. That he gets out, he goes around the vehicle, he's doing things, moving stuff around inside the vehicle. And then right here, he's on the back. I think this is a tailgate because this looks like where the license plate is. He's wiping off the bumper like dust or dirt. Why is he concerned with wiping off the? I know he was a fan of Cybertrucks and he was super excited about having this Cybertruck, is what he's told a girlfriend or a friend via text message. He was super stoked to have it. But I find it funny that he's over here wiping off the bumper just after he tries to destroy this vehicle. Anyways, the video that I want Tesla to actually release is one that we just talked about just a second ago. Is I want the inside cabin camera. I want that video to be released. Why haven't we released it yet? Here's the video of Las Vegas PD talking about the email that Sam Shoemate and Sean Ryan released. Give it a thumbs up if you can hear that.
These final days, given everything that you read from his notes app and the manifesto that you see that you referenced going around in the podcast, have you guys been able to rule out that it was not from him, or is it still up in the air that it could have been from him?
So the question is, how would I describe his state of mind in the manifesto that was described on the podcast? Have we been able to determine whether that was from him or not? And I'll answer the first part is I'm not comfortable giving you state of mind just yet. I certainly am leaning a particular way. But again, I'd like to be factual to you. I think when you read the documents that we're going to give you a link to at the end of this press conference, that you can go in and make some of your own assumptions about what that is. But I will tell you that part of my hesitation on that is I know that we have a lot more documents and number of things for us to uncover. And so I want to be able to provide to you only the factual information when I have it. And so I'm not going to opine on what I believe his state of mind was at that particular time, but certainly you can see some troubling aspects in his personal life as well. And I don't know if you want to address the second part, Spencer.
Yeah, so in terms of the so-called manifesto that's circulating online, we have strong evidence to suggest that it was the subject that wrote it, but we haven't conclusively proven that yet. And that evidence relates to other evidence that we're finding that we're able to compare that lead us to believe it was in fact him who sent it.
So this is what started a little bit of that rabbit hole. Government started saying, hey, we believe that to be true. We already went over the email and all of the flaws with that email. They need to come out and state what happened. And I bet you what they're going to say is, oh, we copied that out and put it in a Word document and printed it. And then we took a screenshot of that and released it to everybody. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just take screenshots of the email application like you released this morning, and release that. Why do you have to copy it out, have a whole bunch of errors in it, and say that that is real, but you have real screenshots from the email application? It doesn't make sense. Hey Al, what's going on, man? Episode 155 of SRS. You mean Sean Ryan's show, where we already talked about that they're lying? Yes. I watched it last night. I don't believe one bit of it. I don't. There's way too many things. You're going to want to go back, Al, and watch the beginning of this. We break down that email and I show you the errors in the email on the screenshot that Sean Ryan released on his X platform, on his page. There's errors in that email, very similar to the errors that I exposed with the .NET YouTuber. They made the same mistakes on those emails. That's where, when it comes to us nerds, we need to speak out on those things and be able to call that out, because a lot of people won't recognize what is real behavior of an email and how that works and what formatting and all of those things will and will not change. And so we are the ones who got to make sure we're calling that out each and every time, so we can make sure people are sharing the truth. What? Let me get back to that letter. What's dude about? You got me curious now, Ed. I'm gonna pull up the letter from the FBI, not the FBI, from that letter's first line, DOC. Let me pull it up. The letter first line from, let's see, where? Hang on, getting it pulled up, guys. Are you talking about this first line up here? We are the United States of America, the best country people to ever exist. But right now we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. Wait a minute. Ed, are you saying .NET YouTuber? .NET YouTuber. I think that yes came in before I asked that question. It's awkward. Oh no. Yeah, the black insurrectionist. We are the United States of America, the best country people to ever exist. The best country people to ever exist. Like, who says that? But right now we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. Yes, that's what he's referring to. You got me thinking now, Ed. Hang on. Guys, we're doing this live right now. We're going through this live as we learn this. And like I said at the beginning, poke holes in this. Tell me I'm wrong. Hey, oh, Zero. Hey, shout out to you, man. I followed a lot of your stuff on here. Look at the structure and the language letter pull off. Clearly written using AI. It's AI. Okay. And this one line right here, the best country people to ever exist. Who says that? I don't. I mean it. I believe that, but I would never phrase it that way. Let me pull up my comments. StreamYard's all mixed up, and I got comments out of order again. Thanks, StreamYard and X. So I'm gonna pull up the stream on my other screen here so I can see it. You have his old stuff to compare the syntax. Let me go through my page real quick, guys. The black answer, like, I have a trigger point when people start telling lies on the internet. And they for especially if they're monetized, I have some issues with it. And Let me see if I have. I did a video. Ed, I did a video on it. I covered the formatting. I covered the formatting of his email in a live I did. When did I do that live? Hang on, guys. I got to go and find this. They don't. I got to go find that live. Ed, you're onto something. And thanks Zero for jumping in, man. Like that's interesting. From the email to this letter is very similar. All right. Hang on. I'm going to go back through. If anybody wants to also go back and try to find it too, as I'm trying to search for it and send it to me, feel free. I would appreciate the effort. I did a live going over black insurrectionist emails. I did it on Truth Will Set You Free because I called it out. We had Bobby Sauce on with us. Bobby Sauce was on. And it was the last time he was on with us. Hey guys, let me go down to this rabbit hole. Let me go find that live real quick. And we're going to go through it. Ugh, excuse me, guys. Still getting over being sick. Still getting over being sick. The email screenshot and the syntax of the letter match. But is it like what Zero was mentioning, that it was all AI? Because it could be. Then they would really have very similar syntax. Hang on. Let me go back. Bobby Sauce 2 months ago. Let me see if there was any other. Nope, just Bobby Sauce. So I did it on Truth. Hey guys. All right. So here we go. We're going to go over this live. We're going to pull up Truth Will Set You Free from 2 months ago. And I pull up in this video. Did I click on the wrong one? Hang on, guys. It's supposed to be the one with Bobby. Bobby Sauce. Crap. I clicked on the wrong one. There we go. This one.
What's happening?
And back when Russo was cool and he was hanging out with us instead of just ignoring us all.
Well,
let's go through this.
they are different
Email.
Right. Supposedly.
I don't want to know, but docking is real.
Wow.
Oh,
Interesting.
jeez.
All right. So,
Oh, geez. I can't believe I started at that point.
Today, we're going to be talking a little bit Friday night.
Okay.
Her entire.
About that. Like,
We're doing this live,
those are
guys. Sorry
usually
for
some good
kind of boring
indicators.
as I
Now,
catch up here.
the problems that I see with this.
Okay. This is where I start going over the email. We have email format issues. I disagree with your analysis. Let's say it's a hoax, like you said. What is the purpose of the incident, also including Sean Ryan? And no, that's where you're misunderstanding. I am saying the situation, I'm not denying the Cybertruck or any of that. I am saying what Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate released is fake. That's all I'm saying. Now, what Ed and I are doing, and the Zero pointed out, the letter that was released by Las Vegas PD has some questionable syntax and the way things are worded, that it might be tied to a very big guy called Black Insurrectionist on X that had like 300,000 followers or something, pretty decent account. Got caught sharing fake emails that he was exchanging with somebody that had a very inappropriate relationship with Tim Walz. That is what we're correlating is right now, is that letter that the Vegas PD released matching syntax from the Black Insurrectionist.
Is when we start talking about these emails that are coming out. Time.
So the part that I don't know if we're going to have, and when I talked about formatting issues before, like we talked about this, and by the way, it's all going through Proton Mail again, which I find also convenient. The syntax of the email is different from that of the letter. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. I said that wrong. The syntax from the email that was sent does not match the letter. I understand that, but what is the purpose of faking that? I get it's fake. Well, what's the message the government? That's what you're mixing up, dude. We're saying Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate lied, not the government. Or one of them is lying. I believe it's Sam Shoemate because he has a history of doing that. And it's interesting. Like, someone's lying. Yep. And that's what I was just about to call out. Funny that is always Proton when the biggest email platform we have is Gmail. Yes, people are trying to use Proton Mail to be secure and all of these things. But you got to look at trends and start looking at things like Proton Mail is not as big as a lot of people really think. If it was a Gmail, it would be a little bit different. Everybody has a Gmail. But let's go through this real
Formatting the
quick.
same.
So,
Comma, date. And so we start getting into it where
we're just going to
is
watch this real
when
quick.
we
I'll
start
let
talking
you
about
guys
these
go
emails
through,
that are
and
coming
I'll
out. I'm gonna
point
share my
out
screen here and I'm going to show
this
you
is
what
how
I'm
black
referring
insurrectionists
to.
made mistakes on these emails
And
that
go
he
share the whole
released
screen so I can
saying
move
were
through the
his.
tabs. So here's one of the emails that was shared. This is where I say things get super sketch and questionable. And Bobby, keep me honest here and any technological stuff that I could be speaking wrong about. But this is an email that is sent. The part that we need to be paying attention to is not necessarily the content of an email, but look at the format of the date. It says sent Thursday, August 8th, comma, 2024, comma, time. If we go and look at some of these other emails, it didn't have, this one now has a comma after Thursday. When you send an email with a system or you copy it out, you're going to copy the formatting the same. So this is telling me it's a human error in these emails because this is the proper format in emails that are being sent. It'll be the date, comma, the actual number date, and then comma, year, comma, time. This one doesn't have it. We can come back to another email. As you can see here, when there is no date, it's just comma after the number date. We come back here to Proton Mail, which is where that email is coming from. You can see down here, Wednesday, comma, date. And so we start getting into where there's questionable things being done from a technological standpoint, that if this person is copying and pasting out, it should be the same on every single one. If they are taking screenshots, it would be exactly the same on every single one. This is where it's starting to get super sketch. There's also
This is where I found those errors in the first one. Now that we're correlating these two, Ed, it's making my mind go nuts at the moment. So I'm wondering, Black Insurrectionist didn't leave and just I have a hard time believing he would just never come back. Anyways, let's jump back into this. This is interesting. Let's get back to this letter. And I want to break this down here. Where did the letter go? There. We are the United States of America, the best country people to ever exist. But right now, whoa. Why does that B look so weird? Guys, can I zoom in more? Huh, that just looks weird to me. That B does not look right. But that's all right. We're not going to get caught up in that. That first sentence, what you're saying, Ed, makes a whole lot of sense. Like, does anybody speak like that in the United States of America? Anybody, especially somebody that is in the military. The best country people to ever exist. Everybody says it is the greatest country on the planet. We always refer to ourselves as the greatest country or the freest country or any of that. Very few people would phrase anything of the United States of America the best country people to ever exist. Like, that's just weird. Yeah, the B is weird to me, but I'm not gonna get caught up in it. But that doesn't look normal. Not at all. Fuck the email. You also say the letter is fake. What is the purpose of doing that in your eyes? Whether it's the control of the narrative or spark a conflict in your eyes, what is the message? We're piecing it together right now, man. Literally live on this. You watched me process and have a conversation with Ed and others in the chat that we actually discovered some things that are not making sense. You think that immediately I have the entire message and I'm going to tell you exactly what freaking happened and all of the stuff? We just barely discovered this in the last 10 minutes. What is your expectation? Why are you here? Like, I'm fine with you poking holes in anything that I'm sharing. Absolutely. I will admit if I'm wrong. But dude, this is weird. You got to have an open mind. If you don't have an open mind, get the fuck out of the chat. Because it just doesn't make any sense, dude. There's a lot of stuff that we need to be looking at and we need to question. And not saying I know all of the truth, but we're going to point out some differences to where things don't make any sense. I'm going to scroll back up to some of these comments. Did you also see the vehicle records, which contradicts the 2006 Mustang in the statement? Yes, we already went over that. We showed in one of the threads that you were going back and forth with in earlier, where there was the video picture screenshots of the registered vehicles to his parents and to him. There was no 2006 black Ford Mustang, and it says V6. But yeah, not to mention my light bulb went on about black. That's exactly it, Ed. Like, that's what's so weird. Black insurrectionists disappeared, and we have this in the email that Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate put out. That email has the same mistakes that the black insurrectionists made on that Tim Walz whistleblower story. Similar mistakes. And then it's weird. No, those guys want fame. That's why they do that. They want their name out there. They couldn't disappear on the internet and not keep coming back. No way. All right, let's go back up to the top of the comments, see if I'm missing anything. I don't know what that date is. January. That's today. Was there something formatted differently or weird? Country people missed a word between just throwing. Country/people. Is the word in between? I don't know, ma'am. You could say that. Like, I wouldn't be describing it. I just have never heard this line ever said about the United States of America when it's an American talking about how great our country is. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say the best country/people to ever exist. The best country people to ever exist. That's weird. Not to mention this weird B. Like, it's still, every time I get to that B, it doesn't look right. Is there another capital B in here? Yeah. Look at this B. Like, look at this. Look at this B. Where did it go? Dang it. Right here. Bernie's. See how that B looks normal? Guys? Right here. See that B? That looks normal. It's even all the way around, as the text is even all the way around. Not really cut off. This B is like the back side of it's kind of cut off. Like, it's not evenly printed. I don't know. That's just weird to me. Yeah, let me go Landry status. Yeah, I pulled that one up earlier. That one as the scrolling through the mom and dad's vehicle registration and stuff like that. I'm not attacking, brother. I'm trying to understand your perspective. Okay. But the thing is, man, we might not have answers on all of this just yet. Right now, we are just starting to connect some of the dots on some of these things that happen that match someone that has been known for lying on X. That's what we just discovered. We have no idea what that means yet. As a writer, there is a word or a comma missing. Would be picked up by grammar or punctuation correction. Should be. I'm not one to be the best to tell you about grammar and punctuation. So don't be looking at me. I know what those red lines, yellow lines, and the blue lines all mean. That means I messed up and I have to tell the computer to fix it for me. That's all I know. And so when I see it showing up, like in the email that was sent out by Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate, it doesn't make sense. Why it has all of those underlines in it? It doesn't go back and check a sent email. It only checks what you're typing up. I see things as messages for an agenda. Thus, I want to understand the message, not so much every detail. Okay, fair enough. This is a comma between country and people. Best country and people to ever exist. I don't get it. Here's my thing. If we're saying that, I just still I can't fathom someone trying to say that we're the greatest country on the planet. I don't catch where people would phrase it like that. I don't think I've ever heard anybody phrase it like that. It's odd. Yeah, and troll. The and word, adding that in there would help, but it's still weird to me. Let's go back over the letter. So this letter from Las Vegas PD does not sound like the letter that was sent to Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate. Well, to Sam Shoemate and Sean Ryan exposed it. What it looks like is that it was written by AI and then edited. I'll pull it up and can point out more. Okay, yeah. Let me know, Zero. It's not the way the average people say people were the greatest country. Well, yeah, that's what I mean is I don't know anybody that would say it that way. I don't know a single person. And I have a lot of people that I know that are very patriotic and would describe us as the freest and the greatest country on the planet. All of this stuff, but never worded in this way. It's kind of odd. Uh-oh. Here's the detailed header for the email from Matt. Thank you, Zero. We're going to go over this right now. We're going to pivot, guys. We're going to pivot. Zero just sent this link of Sam Shoemate releasing the header. I know this just looks like garbage to you guys. I'm digesting it, and I'll break it down for you guys in just a minute. At least this was done within the app. It's not copied out and put into like a word processor of some sort. As we pointed out before in Black Insurrectionist emails, he messed up on the dates and the formatting. So I'm looking at that real quick to see if there's anything else new that stands out here. Terminal CWO, that's right. That is Sam Shoemaker's Sam Shoemate's profile on Instagram. So let's look at the dates let me pull this up on another screen here and look at the dates. Ask Rock would make more sense than a comma. Sure, Lockjaw, I agree with that. So the email being AI sounds more like the ABC whistleblower email. So the email being AI sounds more like the ABC whistleblower email. Okay. So are we saying that The email that the Las Vegas PD has was written with AI, and we're saying that when you say the ABC whistleblower, we're saying that is the Tim Walz whistleblower. So they were both using AI. The syntax in this. All right, let's go back down to the email. Hang on. Let me go pull up Sam Shoemate's. Sam Osar. Let's go pull up his emails. Let's look at some of this stuff more carefully. Here's the header to the email. Oh, he released another one. I don't disagree with that. But there's a trend in the way Americans speak about our country, and it's never phrased best country people to ever exist. It's never phrased that way. Someone will always say the greatest country on the planet, the freest country on the planet, the strongest country in the world. Those type of things are always said. Never best country people to ever exist. That sounds to me AI. Sounds to me very like trying to be proper but can't actually get the grammar and punctuation correct. That's what it sounds like. So it sounds fake. Let's go into this. Let's see. Here's the header to the initial email. So he keeps going because people are calling him out. So we're going to let's just start fresh with his page. Might see a poorly individual running around on social media screaming about fake emails and saying I fabricated them before. As a side note, I've been posted screenshots of the email chain and the da-da-da-da-da. Yes, I am saying that, Sam. I'm openly saying that. If you care to follow our military stuff, our X account, that's fine. These screenshots are where I say I was concerned. I wanted to come back and look at. Imagine that. These just say Tuesday. Oh, 10:42. This is obviously a very big deal, but I don't have anything to verify this information with. The thing that I don't understand is why in the freak is this very intelligent human being that was in our military, Green Beret, why is he asking Sam Shoemate to connect him with Fox News? Fox News has a tip line. All he would need to do is send an email to Fox News. And then they would probably pick this up and run with it. Why does he ask Sam Shoemate for a contact? The other thing that I find weird in the podcast they mentioned with Sean Ryan is he was asking Sam Shoemate to get in contact with Sean Ryan specifically. Like I said, I haven't been a big Sean Ryan fan or follower because I haven't really known a whole lot about him until just recently, especially with the Sarah Adams podcast that came out that got a lot of attention, and then all of a sudden the next podcast to come out after that one is a bigger deal and a bigger scenario than what Sarah Adams was talking about. How does that guy land two big bombs, big truth bombs that are being dropped on his podcast in a row, and it doesn't go to Joe Rogan? It doesn't go to the biggest podcast on the freaking internet right now, Joe Rogan. It doesn't go there. It doesn't go to Tucker Carlson. Why is that? Why these two individuals when one of them has been caught lying before? And now Ed has planted the seed in my head now I got to go and figure out, is there a correlation with a black insurrectionist that no longer exists on X because he got caught lying with emails and those things? Is there anything that ties these two together? Yeah, I get what you're saying, Ed. But if he didn't do his due diligence on this Sam Shoemate, he's just as at fault. That's where I put that. Don't blame you. Well, no, man. Like that's one of the great things. Why I love having this conversation in the chat is you guys can keep me honest. One, two, we can explore and think about things and come up with other stuff that we're not thinking about. Putting multiple brains together is much better than just having one try to dissect all of this. It doesn't help that I'm still getting over being sick, so I'm running on half the brain power. I've been a fan of him for a while, 2 to 3 years. Sean was always big. Rogan is compromised, is more scary to host these type of pods. He no longer makes those pods no more. I can see that. I get what you're saying. I don't know. There's other people that I think would be bigger on the list than Sean Ryan. I can think of quite a few. If they can remotely fly drones from a base, you would think they could remotely pilot a Tesla. They kind of can. Now, is it open to public? No. Tesla is already messing with that. And they're messing with it because that's how you just train the system, right? But there are systems, there are ways you can turn an entire vehicle into a giant RC car. A real vehicle, you can turn it into an RC car. It's been done. There's ways to do it. Tesla taxi, exactly. Like it's there, but it's not out into the public. So the only way this could have been done with the Cybertruck at Trump Tower would be utilizing what is released and what is already there, which would be it's full self-driving. And I agree with you, Zero. I agree with you. Let me go get your comment because it's out of order. Oh, actually, hey Waz, I see more of your comments. Sorry, dude, I'm trying to keep up here. They released it knowing it was bull. It was the only way to prove the email was bullshit. I agree. I 100% agree with you, man. This is weird. I don't trust President-elect Leon. You mean Elon? Yeah, we're not going to get into that. I have some beef with Elon right now. I'm a generally very big supporter of Elon, big supporter of Vivek. Came around to voting for Trump this year, first time, but I have some question marks with the way Elon's been acting the last few days. I don't like it. By the way, I'm not getting into and saying he took away monetization from Laura Loomer. Not saying that. I don't agree with it. And I don't think that he had anything to really do with that. That's not how humans talk. Right, exactly. Considering that everything else he is supposedly hacked by China, maybe the message was bigger than we can see. That's possible, Kilburn. That's very well possible. That's to kind of touch on that. Where did that comment go? I see it on X, but I don't see it in StreamYard. I would like to pull it up because I want everybody to see it and read it. Dang it. StreamYard and X needs to fix this issue. This bug is bothering me. I've been trying to imply that. Okay. But Kilbird says, considering that everything else is supposedly hacked by China, maybe the message was bigger than we can see. That is interesting because that brings up a very good point that maybe there's some other influence like that, or things got hacked and another country, which is why I have concerns with TikTok being on anybody's phone. Because I just don't trust the CCP. I don't trust our own government, let alone a corrupt government that's very openly sharing their game plan and how they handle things. And what they do in their country is everything against the United States of America and what we live for, what we fight for. And so I don't trust them at all. And so I don't want that app out here, but it could be something tied to where China is hacking and releasing some of this information. That is very possible. All right. Let's get back to business here. I'm trying to validate Sam Shoemate's stuff with these headers. Let's refresh because he keeps dropping stuff. Okay, 11 minutes. So this is still remain the same. The header to the initial email, December 29th, 2024 at 9:22 p.m. Well, looks normal. Looks normal. This did not contain the manifesto, to be clear. It was the initial email, and the second email contained the manifesto. Here's the header from the email from Go to Work here. So this is the one with the manifesto sent at 4:42 p.m. on the 31st. Compare the time, 12 versus 24. The thing is with the headers, it's going to be, you have the two different formats you have up here and then down here. So they are formatted differently, slightly. But I don't see that there's enough in this to correlate. There's not enough information in here other than to and from, pretty much. Why is he just releasing so many small screenshots? Let's go through this thread. I want to see what people are saying in here. Let's go through this transfer and see. You did the right thing. I don't believe it. What explains the gap at the bottom? Yes. Let's see how he answers this. This is one of my biggest This is one of the things that I criticize him most on. And so we are going to look and see if he ever replied to this, because that should never happen. It would never happen. Email doesn't work that way. He never addresses it. Okay. So Sam Shoemate, dude, you need to be addressing this question. This is the question I want to know. He also talks about the military time, as we've been keep talking about. Why does that change? That shouldn't change. Shouldn't. So he's not releasing anything. This is going back to the very similar of where we started this whole story this morning with Signal and how there was not enough information to really correlate it. I don't have enough information in this to correlate it with everything else that he sent. Everything else that he sent, like these screenshots, I don't have anything in here to validate and correlate it with those headers. All we have is Sunday. That's all we got. This is no different than the Signal screenshot that came out that everybody was running with, saying that he changed his safety number or whatever it is called after it was detonated. We can't say that. There is no proof of that. There's no evidence showing that it was after. The date here we could go off of 10:42 a.m. we don't have a 10:42 a.m. Well, we do here. If the reason why I'm saying we do here, and this would be weird. So this is GMT time, Greenwich Mean Time. And so how I know that is that plus 00000. So that's where it's coming from, GMT. Here in Utah, where I am at, we are -6. -6, so we go off of that, remove 6 hours from it. That puts us at 10:42. Is Sam Shoemate from Utah? Because that would put it at 10:42, which is exactly where this timestamp comes from. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I don't know of any of these people that would be in the mountain time zone. Where does Sam Shoemate live? Does it say anywhere? Shoo. I'm pulling up his stuff about him just to see if I could really quickly just discover if he's in what state. His website that is on his X profile is this page, and at the very bottom it says Dipping Springs, Texas. Not full concrete of anything, but that's Central Time. That's not Mountain Time. This is all getting weird, guys. This doesn't make any sense to me. And I see some of the gears moving in some of the comments from you guys in here that it's not making sense to you either. I see a lot of problems with this. 1400 bottom. So it's a possible device change. Yeah, it's possible. I think they edited it on purpose. Trying to find some of the comments in here, guys. They're really out of whack on X today. Usually it's going pretty well, but not anymore. Not anymore. I wonder what changed. All right. I guess I just won't be clicking on it because I can't find it. The best country people, Steven says in the comments, the best country people sounds exactly like poor syntax of Chinese to English would. I agree with that. That's why it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know of anybody that would describe the United States of America. Good point. Thank you, because I didn't take note of that and I meant to mention it. The VBID. The VBID, I think is how you say it. Vehicle, what does VBID stand for? They said it on the podcast. Vehicle, very big, no. IED. What does VB stand for again? See, this is where vehicle borne. There you go. Vehicle borne improvised explosive device. So IED. VB IED. I had an issue with that when that was explained, that it was a vehicle borne improvised explosive device, because this guy has a history of working with these. And that history of working with these, when it comes to the vehicle, he would have, if he said he had one of those, he would have had a real one that would have taken out that whole hotel, the entire thing. And so he didn't. He didn't. So why wouldn't he have a big enough device to take out that hotel? What was his mission? That's what their story is. That's what Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate is trying to say is, no, he was trying to send a message to talk about the drones and get people's attention. And so that's what his sacrifice was for, is to get that message out. I don't understand why would he have to do that? But he had the knowledge to be able to put together a much more solid IED. Much more solid. I struggle with the idea of him saying that he had a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. Because if he had that, he knew it was going to be it would have been set up as a decent one, not what was done. He couldn't even blow apart the freaking Tesla, the Cybertruck. I'm looking at another link that Zero just provided. Let's go over that real quick. Right here. So it links to this. Did Matt ever? Oh, yeah, you guys can still hear me. Good. Did Matt ever mention the 2019 incident to you in the past? I don't ever recall talking to him. Did Matt ever mention? So Matt Livelsberger, don't ever recall talking to him, so I doubt it. He messaged me on a burner account anytime someone new to me because he was on a burner account reaches out. I put very little stock in it. Get messages like that a lot. It's an account for people who want to blow the whistle, and you can imagine how many people think they have a huge story. I don't know, guys. What he's saying right there, I get it. I don't believe it. There's a lot of holes in this. Why does, as Ed pointed out earlier, that started to rack my brain, why is the email sent to Sam Shoemate not talk like very similar, talk the same? Why was the email that was sent to Sam Shoemate does not match the style, formatting, and the feel of the message that the Las Vegas PD is releasing? Why are they two different ones? Why does one start so weird with those first 3 sentences? That's what we need to figure out. Someone's lying. Someone's lying. It was to send a message and not hurt people. I 100% agree with you. Because that it had to be intentional, or he was that inept. But Tim Kennedy, by the way, there was a video. Tim Kennedy was in a show or a commercial. A show. Inside Edition releases this last night. Let me show this. I don't know if you guys saw this yet. Right here. So Inside Edition, and they have the name wrong. They keep saying Tim Kelly. I don't think this is right. I think it's Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy is very well known, and a lot of you, if you guys have paid attention to military guys and stuff they talk about, it looks like Tim Kennedy, talks like Tim Kennedy. I think it is Tim Kennedy. But here it is. Oh, why did that not play? Why did that not? Hang on, guys. Sorry. Where did that go? There it is. Here it is.
It's a reality
Give
show
me a
that
thumbs up
puts
if you...
teams of elite soldiers
Oh, is that
from
what it
around
is?
the world again.
Tim Kelly is his real last name? Okay. I could get that. But why? I guess this could have been a long time ago. Could have been a long time ago. Thanks, Paul. That's something I didn't know. I knew him as Tim Kennedy.
It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against each other.
Matt and Tim.
See, that is Tim Kennedy, who I know. But if Tim Kelly is his real last name, I get it. That makes sense. This is the Cybertruck guy. Matt Livelsberger.
From the U.S. Army Special Forces, better known as the Green Berets.
Matthew Livelsberger and his partner Tim Kelly, both Green Berets, appeared on the Ultimate Soldier
Ed, that
Challenge
makes so much
12
sense.
years ago.
That makes so much sense. That it was from the UFC. Got it. Okay. See, this is why I need you guys. Keep me honest. Help me learn a little bit. But I just thought it was a mistake that I couldn't believe that they made on big TV like this, that they gave him the wrong last name.
On the History Channel, they not only won, it wasn't even close.
For television, they always try to make it a little bit more competitive, but we swept the whole entire show.
When he appeared on the show, Livelsberger used a shortened version of his name, Matt Bird. So it took Tim Kelly a while to put 2 and 2 together.
And then I saw a Matt Berg with a older photo of him, and I was like, oh no, dude, I know that guy. And then it just like tore my heart out because he was a really great Green Beret.
And what was he like?
He was charming. He was talented. He was personable. He was kind. He was all the things that you would expect from a Green Beret.
At one point during the show, Livelsberger lost his cool in the 90-plus degree heat.
I'm about to throw it, man. I got heat exhaustion, man. I need to take this off right now.
Tim Kelly says he hadn't heard from Livelsberger for a few years.
It just categorically does not make sense. From everything that I have heard, he was universally valued by his team, by his peers. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense, and it is just horrifically heartbreaking.
Yeah. So that's what Inside Edition, whatever it is, I had, and I thought that was interesting, and I was like, Tim Kennedy. I love Tim Kennedy. But if he was that intelligent, it would have to be, the explosion would have had to been intentionally just to get attention and not try to cause harm, which seems to be met pretty well in that scenario. I don't understand the part that I question in a lot of this, and to repeat, like, we need to still figure out what the real story is here. But I am in the corner right now saying Sam Shoemate and Sean Ryan's stuff is not accurate. That's the underlying message of what I'm saying right now, because there's a lot of reason to question what is coming out of that. Now, as what was said, are we all talking about it because he is still kicking? What do you mean by that, Ed? I'm pulling up the email because Zero mentioned also looking at the last little bit of the email. Or what tab is that? I got to clean up some of my tabs now. There we go. You said the last 3 paragraphs. I'm scrolling back up on the chat over here. Read the last 3 paragraphs too. Paul Revere says, never trust the Las Vegas Metro PD. I agree. I'm starting to question a lot of the stuff coming out of them when they say that they trust that email. Last 3 paragraphs. Let's go over that real quick. This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives? Okay. Why did I personally do it now? I need to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took. Okay. Las Vegas Metro is a sister corp to Unified PD in Salt Lake City, Utah. Did not know that. I'm glad I don't live in Salt Lake City and my area is not patrolled by Unified Police Department anymore. Thankfully, because I don't care for the Unified Police Department that's structured in Utah. It's not a good one. Consider the last sunset of 24. Consider this my last sunset of 24, and my actions the end of our sickness. My actions the end of our sickness, and a new chapter of health for our people. Rally around the Trump, Musk, Kennedy, and ride this wave to the highest hegemony for all Americans. We are second to no one. Huh. It's weird. It's worded weird. It doesn't read right. Like it could be AI. But to be honest, I also make some of these grammar and errors in here myself. But it doesn't read like it would be somebody that would be at the level that Tim Kennedy was just describing this individual. Now, for this individual to be in a mindset of being able to take his life, his own life, for this, means that he's already having some issues. And that could be justifying it a little bit. But it doesn't really jive with me because this top two sentences, I said 3 earlier, but there's a comma here after America. So 2 sentences. We are the United States of America, the best country people to ever exist. So weird. So weirdly worded. The weird B that doesn't look like the other B that I showed you down at the bottom. But right now we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. Yeah, it is all coming back to none of these letters are matching. Someone's lying, or everybody is lying. Why would Las Vegas PD lie? I don't know. Maybe there's a bigger story that is being covered up. Maybe there is something that we're missing there. I don't know why Las Vegas PD would lie about this, or let's go with incompetent. Let's go with that level of they didn't know. They just came across this information and all of this information, and they're just giving it out. That could be Route 91. Sure. I gotta go find this comment. Well said, Lockjaw. I gotta find this comment. This is funny. Dang it. Let me find this comment. Where is Lockjaw's comment? There we go. Found it. Sounds like an ex-bot response. Where is you from? I'm New York. Exactly. So this thing is interesting. Harry Reid. Yeah, I can't stand Harry Reid. And he has a freaking airport in that city with his name on it. So let's go with, why would Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate lie? And let's separate those two. Because Sean Ryan is using his platform to get the message out. He is not specifically lying himself, but he is supporting the content that is being distributed because it was released on his platform. So, is he intentionally lying? I would not say so. Is he believing a story that's being fed to him that may be full of lies? Yes, I could believe that. Sam Shoemate, I don't know why I want to keep saying shoemaker. Sam Shoemate, with this, people have called out his issues in the past with some emails that he has dropped, and there's issues with them. And all of this really comes to, in my opinion, someone that's wanting fame. I believe, I don't know if this is true, but people do this stuff on social media when they're monetized so they can get some monetary value out of it. Is that the why? Is that the why Sam Shoemate would do this? Or is it just out of clout and fame that he wants? It's generally why people would lie. Would lie. If someone wants to connect me with the Hodge twins, I'll let's do it. I'll have a conversation with the Hodge twins. I yeah. So they started the Sam as a fraud calls. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Someone needs to with a bigger name. I definitely don't have the platform that they have. I can talk to you guys. We can all share this out and try to get it out there, but we definitely need some help from some bigger names to help get to the bottom of it. We all have to work together on this. Like, we can't trust the information that's being fed to us. I know I'm just a talking head on the internet, no different than Sean Ryan to any of you. But the part that I have a mission for is just to make sure that we're getting the truth out there so the American people can make a solid decision on how to handle these things. And I have a trigger when it comes to some of these people that lie for monetary value, if that is what they're doing it for. I believe the black insurrectionist was. That's why I went so hard on him when all of that came out. I'm starting to lean that that's where Sam Shoemate's coming from. His X account might be verified. Well, I believe he has a blue check. And so that means he potentially could be monetized. Yeah, he does have a blue check. He could be monetized. And if something like this goes nuts and gets millions and millions of views and engagement and it keeps going around, it results in a decent check in 2 weeks. I don't know. We're still going to need to get to the bottom of this on who's telling the truth, but I am leaning towards we don't have the truth. From Las Vegas PD and from Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate's podcast, we don't have the truth. These two stories don't match. The letters don't match. The way they're worded is weird, and they don't match, like we say, syntax, but I want to say it's like style and flow of the way someone talks. This seems like it's all AI, and then the other one seems like it was originally put together by AI and then edited to try to give it a real feel. Some have called Sam the white black insurrectionist. I wouldn't be surprised if those two accounts are the same person at this point. They made the same mistakes on dropping truth information and to expose. Same mistakes. If you're exposing emails, you can do stuff like what I'm doing, guys. Like you pull it up and actually go through it with some detail and actually expose what's going on and not just do screenshots. Screenshots you can hide so much in. It doesn't give us a whole lot of information, just like how we started the show with going over Signal, and there's not enough information in that Signal screenshot to even say that it is tied to the Cybertruck bomber. There's not enough in that screenshot to do anything with. Nothing. ChatGPT has been used for quick write-ups. Don't get me wrong, I am not bashing AI, by the way. I love AI. I use it all the time. And I know how to use it to where you don't run into mistakes like this if you wanted to. There's ways you can actually use AI instead of and have a better feel with the talk and the language and the verbiage that comes out of it. I use it a lot. And so there's good uses for it. Don't get me wrong. But there's trends of when people don't know what they're doing with those tools, how to make sure that it looks real or more like a human instead of like a Chinese person is trying to say that they are a great American, because that's what this reads to me. That'd be like somebody in another language trying to say, I love America, would say the best country people to ever exist. That's something that I would hear. Americans don't talk like that. They just don't. They don't say that way. It's weird. All right, well, let's go and we'll end this here. I didn't expect to be going over this for 2 hours, guys. I'm surprised I made it through and I haven't lost a lung. And I'm here saying that Black had me fooled until the ABC thing. Oh, 100%. I was following him. He was following me for the longest time. I thought it was cool because it was him and Waz. Shout out to Waz in the chat. Him and Waz were like the two big accounts that followed me back. And I thought I was so cool. This is earlier this year. And so I thought it was cool. And then all of a sudden, some of the stuff he started calling out. I'm in his comments and I'm like, dude, this is not right. This is wrong, about multiple different things that he was releasing. And that's when I'm like, I don't know. I don't get it. Because things didn't start adding up for him. But we're not going to make this podcast about him, because we got to figure out if those two happen to be the same person, Sam Shoemate and Black Insurrectionist. That gets interesting. A slippery slope. He refers to himself as an American twice, and once he hasn't. Yeah, okay. Oh, Paul, like, dude, this cough, since we go all conspiracy theorists here, since we had that fog here in the Salt Lake Valley, I've been sick, and I'm now just getting over it. Yesterday was probably my first good day of being able to talk and not really lose a lung, but a little while ago, it was bad. I couldn't even open my mouth. Probably, Ed. I would think so. Just be mindful to not jump to conclusion. Never. There is going to be more. There will be more. Checking it out now, Zero. I'm pulling it up on my other screen, and then we'll go over it. And we'll call it from here. Same fog. I call it the Air Force fog. Yeah, I have a issue with the fog. Oh, whoa. Zero. This doesn't mean he wasn't shot. All right. Let me read through this, guys, real quick, and then I'll pull it up on the screen. I want to go through it before I just start throwing that up on the screen. Doesn't mean he shot in the head while he was out there. Based on the lack of movement or reaction to what was about to happen, the body completely upright, that is possibly a corpse being propped up upright. I see that. Yeah, let me pull this up. Stop sharing. This is cool, guys. We're actually going through all of this together and learning a lot. I like this. This is why, by the way, this is the type of stuff I'll be doing more shows of in 2025. I plan to be doing a lot more of this, trying to make sure that we do go over the truth and we expose the people that are lying for whatever reason, why they lie. I don't know. But these are going to be my new shows. We're going to dissect the truth. We're going to go through the bills that passed in Congress and in your states, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to go into the detail and bring it out. Expect a lot more of that this year. All right, let's get into Zero's post here. About to deep dive URTL. I think Rambo. I don't know what you mean by URTL. I don't catch that. All right, Zero's post. Let me get back out of here. Zero's post. This doesn't mean he wasn't shot, but it does mean that the gunshot wound to the head possibly didn't happen while parked there. This is what I said early on. I believe full self-driving was used. It also doesn't mean that he was alive or dead. Based on the lack of movement or reaction to what was about to happen and the body completely upright, that is possibly a corpse being propped upright. Now we're going to go into the pictures here. FBI has claimed that the driver of the Cybertruck in the Las Vegas bombing shot himself prior to the explosion. Based on these images I pulled from the side view of the vehicle immediately before and after the moment of detonation, tell me if he had been shot. Everywhere they use we, us, we, etc., but one X, you are cattle. I don't understand that one, man. Desert Eagle would have blown the head off 100% on that one. I 100% agree on that. Dan Bongino is saying something? Huh. Well, we'll get into that. I don't want to squirrel here. I want to look at these photos, and then I want to go through. We're going to pull up this video, and I want to see if we can get an idea, get like an angle like this, because this angle has to be from a different camera. What camera is this from? So I can see it. I don't know. Here, let me actually copy this out and reshare to where we can zoom in, guys. Let me pull this up in another window so we can know about drones. Okay, thanks, Kilburn. Okay, this is the picture. It's really big. But we can see, look right here. We can work on that, Paul, for sure. Just message me, man. So we can see right here. Now you can see my cursor. Now I clicked. This looks like an ear. This kind of looks like a face. This looks like hair. This looks like the body, the neck, shoulders. It's like there's probably an American flag on the shoulder right here. It's hard to read and see, but yeah, that looks like a human in there, or at least something that represents a human. That's interesting. Okay, let me go grab the other picture. Okay, this one is pre-detonation. So let's pull up that one. This one, I zoomed out a little bit. Okay, I can kind of see it. Face and skin right here, lighter color. Hair or hat or something on the head. Body. This looks like a different color right here, so that looks like a seat. Yep, seat back, shoulder, head. Yep. What is this telling us? There was somebody in the front seat. That's all this tells us. That was over 6 foot. That looks like a 6-foot individual in that picture. The Cybertruck is a big vehicle, and there is a lot of room in that vehicle for someone that's 6 foot or taller. The part that is interesting, wheel. Wait, what is this? Steering wheel clearly illuminated. I don't understand about the steering wheel part. Let me switch screens and share this one here. The part that I'm looking at is this says steering wheel, clearly illuminated. I don't know if I can say that's a steering wheel. It could be. But I can tell you, that definitely looks like a face. With all of that flame around him. I don't know if this really proves what that guy's trying to show in that post. Saying that he shot him in his shot, that he didn't shoot himself in front of the Trump Tower. Yeah, that head looks intact. Especially if, yeah, Kilburn, that's where we're going, actually. especially if a desert eagle was used. I'm pretty sure that head would not be recognizable if it was a desert eagle. Desert Eagle, for those that don't know, we're talking a 50 caliber handgun that looks like a 1911. Really rigid, heavy, awesome handgun. Desert Eagle. And they are, let me see if I can find that picture of what they claim the Desert Eagle. Here it is. Oh, hang on, guys. I'm going to pull it up. Copy image, paste. Okay, let's switch over to the Desert Eagle. So the Desert Eagle, this is what was left. You can see kind of the grip and everything. That slide looks open slightly. Huh. That's interesting. But a Desert Eagle. That's what was on the floorboard in Cybertruck. Oh, what interesting. What's that? What's on the... What is that? That could, well, I guess that could be anything because the entire dashboard melted. That's weird. That's like a spring. It's weird. It looks like something that would go on a throttle body with a cable that has a spring for tension. And it's got some weird bends in it so it can go around an object and still pull. That's kind of weird. I don't understand what this thing is. Huh. Yeah, exactly. That's what is this thing? But everything melted inside that Cybertruck. Like that entire interior is gone. So this could have been something underneath the dashboard, something that moves. Like maybe it's one of those things that moves the air vents around, open and closed. Who knows? It's kind of weird, but yeah, it stood out to me too. The DE is the most destructive handgun out there. I was gonna say that, but I figured there's probably something bigger. 50 cal handgun, Desert Eagle, just well-known big handgun. But I'm sure somebody out there's got to have a hand-built revolver or some other gun that they may have made more power with. Who knows? But yeah, Desert Eagle, legit, big, heavy, powerful gun. I don't think a head would be recognizable if it was shot with that gun. It would not be fully intact like those pictures look like. If that Desert Eagle, because look at the face here. You could still see like a... Got it. Go away. All right. You can kind of still see a face there. If that guy was shot in the head with a Desert Eagle, I don't know if you would have those facial features. Am I wrong? Or are you guys thinking that? Because a Desert Eagle... Oh, imagine that. Hang on, now it's funny. How much damage can a Desert Eagle do? Ha! We might have to go exclusive on X, guys. I know some of you are watching on YouTube and Facebook and stuff, but I want to show this video of this company demonstrating firing a Desert Eagle into some ballistic gel. Guys, yes. Really? This is nuts, guys. Like, yes, that head wouldn't be recognizable. I'm watching a video right now from bullet safe, bulletproof vests. They have a Desert Eagle point blank range to a ballistics gel body, like upper chest and head. Yeah, you know what? I want to show this. Like, I want to show this. I'm gonna kill YouTube and Facebook. Well, you know what? We're just gonna get rid of YouTube. If you guys, Tim Mac, I am not. Well, we are on Rumble, but you can go find it on Be the Changes Rumble if you want. That's the body slumped over the wheel. Rib cage is not the face. I don't understand what you're saying. So in this screenshot that's on the screen right now, where that right arrow is pointing, that looks like a face. That doesn't look like slumped over the wheel. Paul, that's what I'm watching. I'm going to cancel YouTube right now. I'm removing it off of YouTube. Guys, come and follow me on X. Let me actually just throw a link to the stream on X in the comments. There's a link to the stream on my X. Go and watch it over here. And we're going to touch on it because I'm going to cancel YouTube right now. Bye, YouTube.